Valentine's bouquets come in all shapes and prices, but how do you know which one's best when there's so many out there to choose from? Well, it's simple. 1-800-Flowers.com is your Valentine's go-to. Right now, when you order early, you can get 24 multicolored roses for only $29.99. Or upgrade to 24 romantic red roses for only $10 more. It's an unbelievable Valentine's offer from 1-800-Flowers. 24 multicolored roses for just $29.99. Or upgrade to red roses for only $10 more. Roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak, shipped overnight to ensure freshness and her amazement. 24 multicolored roses for only $29.99 or an upgrade to 24 red roses for just $10 more is the perfect reward for thinking ahead. Look, make sure you lock in this offer. It's only good while supplies last. To order 24 multicolored roses for $29.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for only $10 more, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click on the radio icon, and enter the code WINGO. That's 1-800-Flowers.com and enter code WINGO. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com, code WINGO.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more. Like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick. Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome in to Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. We, as always, are presented by Progressive Insurance, and all phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We're glad you're here with us. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, shut up.
Hey, Junior, how are you?
Oh, boy. Have you ever
Hi,
heard
Researcher Brett. Hi, Cliff. Hi, Devin. Hi, Stanzik. Hi, Ray. How is everybody?
You ever heard him so giddy?
I am so happy to be here with you guys today.
No, you're not.
Honestly. I am thrilled to be. I love all you guys. You guys are awesome.
I'm just going to throw it out here right now. Trey
No, you guys are the best.
No.
You guys are the best. I love you guys.
Stop it. Stop it. Trey leaves for Hawaii after the show today.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay?
I just love you guys so much.
Yeah, whatever.
Trey's like a dad in the 1950s that knows his cigarette run is about to really mean he's leaving forever, so he is giddy with the possibility of a future without burden.
Every once in a while, I just think it's important that I take stock and realize how lucky I am to be working with guys like you.
You know, I
want you to know that.
I'm going to punch you in the face.
I just want you to know that.
Yes, no, you're going to get punched in the face.
Every once in a while we have some tension, and every once in a while things may go, but I want you to know I genuinely love working with you guys. All you guys, I think you're awesome. Brett, your numbers are tremendous. Cliff, you're the best music cooker ever. Stanzik, I don't know what it is you do, but you're really good at it. You're really good. I wanted to share this moment
from Step Brothers and Rob Riggle and say I'm going to punch him right in the suck hole.
Yeah, it's just something about Trey's face right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the joy streamed across it.
You know what it is? Yeah, it's the words coming out of his mouth on his face.
I don't know. I'm just so happy to be here. I love you guys.
Yeah, whatever.
I just
foot in the parking lot.
Everybody, once in a while, you should. When you're around people that you enjoy, you should tell them you love them. And I just wanted you guys to know that.
Yeah.
And in fact, Junior, I love you so much that I found a way around your issue. I found
What's
a way.
My issue?
Well,
what issue?
You're a little.
What do you mean?
You're a little. How do we say this politely?
Big boned.
You're you don't have a lot of hair on the top of your head.
Oh,
yeah, but
we're gonna do this again.
We found something for you.
This is all positive.
This is positive.
Yeah.
Apparently the issue with you is you haven't eaten enough French fries.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's how Urlacher did it.
Yeah. Got him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's true.
So how about the scientists at Yokohama National University in Japan say that a chemical added to the oil to cook McDonald's French fries could help cure baldness in humans.
Wow.
There you go.
So there you go.
All right, so when you guys see me at the McDonald's over in Bishop's Corner later rubbing my head on the fry vat, you'll know it's for good reason.
How about that?
Don't arrest me.
No, this is important.
Don't arrest me.
The chemical sharing a link between finding a cure for baldness and fast food fries is, I got no chance at this, dimethylpolysiloxane.
It's a quarter word. There's no doubt about it.
Dimethylpolysiloxane, which is reportedly found in the silicone. That is silicone, by the way. Silicone. That is added to the oil McDonald's cooks its famous French fries in.
Silicone tray?
Silicone.
So French fries have a link to something else that we didn't realize.
The silicone helps prevent the oil from bubbling and splitting, according to the Evening Standard. In the study published in Biomaterials, it states that researchers at the university discovered a method that produced hair follicle germs that, quote, may lead to a new treatment for hair loss.
Bottom line is they used this on nude mice, which is in and of itself.
Yo, how scary is a nude mouse?
Hold on.
I know.
I now have a picture of a nude mice in my head.
I know.
Nude mouse? Nude mouse.
But it grew black hair on the back and the scalp of the mice.
All right, so there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
Yes.
You know what? See, I think I figured out
what if you're a blonde?
Well,
then there's an issue.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it looks like you're still nude. And my question with this is, so is it something you've got to rub on now? Because I've been trying this treatment orally for years.
Yeah,
and it hasn't worked.
A lot of fries. I don't know. We need
just
to
end
find
up
out more.
Being able to hear my heartbeat more.
The weird thing, I've never heard the term, wouldn't they be called hairless mice?
I know, but I'm reading right
nude
here.
Mice?
To stimulate the hair growth on the nude mice.
Oh, my.
That's what it says. I'm just reading the article.
Where I'm looking at the
I
article.
like my mice well-tailored.
Second to last paragraph.
Well-groomed.
To stimulate the hair growth on the nude mice.
I'm not making it up. Yeah. It's not like I'd make up saying nude mice, okay?
Listen.
I mean, seriously.
To stimulate the hair
2018,
growth,
they're just up on the trends.
To stimulate the hair growth on the nude mice.
Yeah.
Manufactured a 300 microwell
array. Now we're getting into stuff nobody understands.
That are called the HFG chip.
Yeah, whatever.
Fukuda added in the release.
Are you just making up words?
This simple method is very robust and promising.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, go eat more French fries at McDonald's.
So you'll gain weight, you'll be unhealthy, but you'll have hair. So you know what it is?
Honestly,
it's a life choice.
Right. Well, I would be really curious to see most guys. Would you rather be a little overweight and have hair?
Right.
Or be completely fit and be like a nude mouse?
Yeah. Oh, bald and jacked all the way.
There you go.
I mean, it's essentially what I am now.
You want to be Mr. Clean?
It's essentially the life I chose.
You'd rather be Mr. Clean.
I mean, I'm basically already here.
Yeah.
You guys can see I wear Lululemon.
You're here
now.
for the party?
I wear Lululemon.
Yeah,
what is that?
It means I'm incredibly fit and able to take my active lifestyle to a place that's also quite trendy.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just curious. Put it up on the poll, whoever's at it. What would you rather be? A little overweight and plenty of hair, or lean and ripped and completely
bald.
like a nude mouse?
Like a nude mouse.
Like a nude mouse.
You see, I didn't make it up, right?
You didn't. I really thought that we would have a different word than a nude mouse.
I agree with that. Well, here
We're stimulating nude mice this morning.
I certainly am not thinking about hair growth.
Here on Zolik and Wingo.
And if you're wondering, this is what happens post-football.
This is it.
There you go. Okay, what do you say we get started with actual things?
Okay, go ahead.
It's time for Off the Top.
Whether you like it or not,
It's just beginning.
With Golick and Wingo.
And we haven't even gotten into the pizza versus breakfast debate.
Oh, we're going there.
Which we'll get into
We
later.
are going there.
But we'll start here off the top. 19th ranked West Virginia beat Trey Young and the number 17 Sooners 75-73. Team Trey, battling illness, scored 32 points, but just had one assist, Mike.
Yeah, he went down the road of saying he's not going to dish tonight. You know, we've been talking a lot about Trey Young, I think because it's, the namesake of Trey, even though it's spelled completely differently.
Yeah, it is.
About how he's playing at times, how then the coach would ask him to play, and then how he turns out in this game, and it's, again, just one assist. But a lot of that has to do with West Virginia. West Virginia, who won the game, just has a stifling defense. I mean, and they have held teams to under 10 assists. They've done it with Oklahoma. They've done it obviously to others as well. So I give a lot of credit obviously to the West V defense.
Yeah, Huggy Bear and the Press Virginia staff, obviously. That's what happens in college basketball. You're able to build identities around things like that. And for Oklahoma, I mean, the identity for them has usually been built more around stars. I mean, you can go back to as recently as Buddy Hield before that, the sharpshooter they had a few years ago, Blake Griffin before that. So that's been more of the hallmark of that than, let's say, any defensive prowess, the likes of which we see in West Virginia or Virginia, in the Virginias. A lot of defense in the Virginias.
It was also their first home loss for Oklahoma, by the way. And it wasn't just Trey Young who wasn't dishing out assists. Oklahoma had a season-low 8 assists. The second time this season they've been held to fewer than 10. Both of those games coming, no surprise, against West Virginia.
Exactly right.
All right, we continue.
Off the Top.
Dirk Nowitzki became the 6th player in NBA history to reach 50,000 minutes on Monday. Maverick star needed to play just 7 minutes in the team's game against the Clippers to join the ranks of Kareem, Karl Malone, Kevin Garnett, Jason Kidd, and the Big E, Elvin Hayes.
Again, his 20th season, 39 years old, all with the Mavericks. That is a very cool thing. He'll start there, stop there. The interesting thing last night, his jersey was misspelled.
Yeah.
How does that happen? I mean, how is that possible? I mean, it read Nowitki. They switched it up. It's supposed to be ZKI, and it went KZI. So his jersey was misspelled. I mean, that's just, as he said, I didn't even notice. It kind of sums up our season, which is very true.
Very true. And I mean, that's always speaks to how, sort of affable and comfortable Dirk is. He's not ever been one of these high maintenance stars. He's been a guy that really, I think, values longevity, wants to be one of the oldest players to play in all 82 games this season. Minutes have been reduced and everything like that, but still night in, night out trying to give it to you. My thing with the jersey misspelling is it's not even like, because I understand there's a lot of Z's and K's and thing that generally make it difficult for most people. But when you really think about it, this is spelled phonetically with the Z before the K. Putting the Z after the K makes utterly no sense the way you pronounce Nowitzki.
And when you're like,
it's not like Favre where it like goes, it's counterintuitive.
And when you say there's a lot of K's and a lot of Z's, there's exactly one K and exactly one Z.
You know what I mean? That's more than you need already.
Okay, all right.
Is there by the way, to their point of their season, they are 20 games under 500 in dead last in the Western Conference. Second worst record only to Atlanta.
But to your first point, Mike, Greeny and I got to interview when we would go do shows in Dallas. He'd come on set. He is one of the best guys out there without question.
And look,
really good guy.
He's still somewhat productive, and he could. You're right. To your point, he could have gone somewhere else. He wanted to finish up where he started. Is there a more underappreciated superstar than Dirk Nowitzki?
He'll be one of the, correct me if I'm wrong, if you think he'll be one of those, guys. When you start talking about the greats of all time and you're going to go, Dirk Nowitzki. He'll get kind of forgotten a bit.
We usually find a niche for those guys and then just shove them in there, right? Like greatest something of all time and then move on from it.
Greatest guy with one K and one Z in his name. That would work.
There we go.
Right?
See?
Greatest German player ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, he took the torch from Detlef Schrempf. Right. Ironically, they both ended up playing for the Dallas Mavericks, believe it or not. But no, Dirk is one of those guys, man. I mean, he's just, he's still averaging 12 points a game.
Yeah, listen, we know where the game is now, but you know he's going to go down as one of the greats, one of the big men shooting away from the basket.
Yeah, I mean, and really a pioneer for European players coming over here and having this kind of top-end success. Right. I mean, he probably will be the greatest European player ever, right? I mean, there's not going to be many other, I mean, maybe you think about Manu and what he meant to those Spurs teams for a number of years. Oh, he's from Argentina? Thought he was French.
There you go. No, he's
Tony Parker.
That's Tony Parker.
Mixed up the backcourt there.
Tony Parker is French. Manu Ginobili
You're supposed to be the smarter one.
Listen, it's early. I'm coursing with vaccines right now. It's a weird time.
Oh, we'll get into that in a minute, by the way.
Yeah, I can't be held accountable for the things I say right now.
That is true.
I mean, it's the yellow fever talking.
How old is Dirk? He was born when there was a West Germany. Okay? Remember that there used to be a West Germany and an East Germany. Remember the Berlin Wall fell in 88?
Yeah.
He was 10 years old when the All right, I'll move on in a minute. We're having a conversation,
Stanzik.
My God.
Turn your mic off, Stanzik.
No. Stanzik is
I was giving you the historical year that you missed. You said it wrong.
I'm sorry, I apologize. You know what? I love you, Stanzik. I'm sorry. I love you.
How quickly Trey turns on us. Vacation Trey.
What did I say?
89. You said 89.
I was off by 1 year. Stanzik, I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Right. Move on now.
I feel really bad.
Now I would agree.
You know what? I'm going to apologize to Stanzik throughout the show because I love Dan.
Oh, God.
And I think he's great.
Off the top.
Hey, the Thunder visit the Warriors this evening at 10:30 Eastern with Golden State entering as a 10-point favorite according to Westgate. And that actually might be good news for Oklahoma City, Mike.
Yeah, Oklahoma City is, over the last 25 years, the only team that finished the season better as an underdog was the 2012-2013 Heat. So they're very good as the underdog. The bad news is, though, the Thunder are currently a 10-point underdog for the game. And over the last 10 seasons, they're 1-32 as double-digit underdogs. So which one are we taking here? Russ, by the way, is averaging a triple-double in games. The Thunder have been an underdog this season, 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. So you know he'll get his, but can they get the win as an underdog, but more importantly, as a double-digit underdog? Too many numbers.
And during Tuesday, their last two games as double-digit underdogs have come against the Warriors, both on the road, and both last season by a combined 47 points. So it's tough historically. We can give all this context, but it also helps the team you're going against just happens to be good enough to spank you by double digits almost every night.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah. And that includes, by the way, that 17-point win over the Warriors on November 22nd. Mm-hmm. And we finish up
off the top
with the Cavs.
Oh, boy.
What are we going to do with the Cavs this year? I think we need to break our LeBron habit. The Cavs take on the Magic at 7 Eastern, coming off that 32-point loss to the Rockets on Saturday, a game in which they never led once.
5 times this year. Yeah. They've lost the game wire to wire. And you know the George Hill talk that's been out there? George Hill's name's been linked to the Cavs over the past few weeks. Amongst 185 players that have played at least 1,000 minutes this season. Hill has the third worst defensive rating in the league.
Well, let's bring him in then. Let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in, and let's bring age in if they're already oldest, whether you factor by actual age or by playing time. So, man, I don't know where this team. I'm trying to hang on, Mike. I'm trying to hang on to my hometown team here that they'll work through the malaise of January. And things will be okay when the playoffs start, but man, it's getting harder and harder to even think that's going to happen.
Didn't it say they're 0-8 in primetime this year too?
Even LeBron said, "Stop putting us on primetime. We're horrible."
Yeah, this has been abject dreck, and it just continues to come from all angles. Has there been a worse fit in all of this than Isaiah Thomas with this team? Forget what's going on the court, but he has been the most vocal new guy in a locker room that I've seen in a while.
How does he even open his mouth in the beginning when he's even playing?
It's one of those things that I can understand. You're a guy that comes in, you were a leader on a team last year, you want to come in and try and instill some of that, and maybe you can be a non-biased third party, but if I'm one of those dudes on the Cavs, I'm looking up at him and like, dude, we waxed you by 50 in the playoffs last year. You're not going to tell me a damn thing.
Yeah, especially when he's not helping. Look, so we go through. Look, everyone believes, and you still to some degree think they can flip the switch, right?
I'm hanging on, but it's probably more with my heart than my head right now.
I mean, last January the Cavs went 7-8, were outscored by a total of 16 points, then won 4 straight to start February. This year they went 6-8 in January and were outscored by 87 points and lost their first game in February by 32 points.
Yeah.
Since Christmas, the Cavs are 6-11, second worst in the NBA. They're not even overworked. They played a league-low 17 games since December 27th. They're shooting 32% from three, worst in the NBA. They're 22nd in offensive rating, behind powerhouses like the Pistons, the Magic, and the Grizz. LeBron is shooting 21% from three, second worst in the NBA. Through Christmas, he was at 41 beyond the arc. And as for Isaiah Thomas, last year he shot 38% from three. This year he's at 24%. Lonzo Ball is shooting 30%. And he's ahead by 6 percentage points of Isaiah Thomas. They have the worst. He has the worst net rating in the league. Cavs are being outscored by 14.8 points per 100 possessions with Isaiah Thomas on the floor. It's not good.
Why would you do that to me?
It was not. People say, well, it's just like last year. It is in no way like last year.
Yeah.
It is completely
really
different.
Is.
And the other thing is you have another couple of alphas in the Eastern Conference. When Tyronn Lue had to say the other day, I think we can make the playoffs. From the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a different dynamic.
It's all going to be negative talk now. Let's see if they make a move by Thursday, the trade deadline. And I don't know what move they could make. I still echo the words of Timmy Legler as he sat in here and said, it's the players, man. I mean, the players have to care a little bit more. It's not, he doesn't think you're going to bring in anybody that's going to change the dynamics of this team enough. The players who are currently on the team have to give a damn a little more.
Maybe we just need to tell LeBron about the French fry thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a lot of the source of his frustration too, traditionally.
But see, he'd have to make the tough choice that you did.
Yeah.
Which one? Does he want to be bald LeBron and
He
ripped?
runs enough. He could probably keep himself in pretty good shape.
Yeah. He makes both of those choices as well, too. There's his help extends beyond French fries.
Yep. That's probably true, but the health of the franchise right now does not extend beyond. They are the French fry of NBA teams right now. They're just sort of a little soft and not quite getting what needs to be done.
Well done.
There you go. Hey, if I can put
good.
French fries in, look, with you two, if I'm fries, I'm good.
It's pretty good.
Because I love you guys.
All
I
right,
want you to know
seriously,
that.
hit a button, and do something.
While you were sleeping, brought to you by Tempur-Pedic, ranked highest in customer satisfaction with mattresses by J.D. Power. Tempur-Pedic is sleep power. And one of the many storylines that's coming out of the Super Bowl again is the Malcolm Butler situation.
Yeah.
Belichick was asked about it again after the Super Bowl, and he just said, look, it's too nuanced. I'm not going into details there, yada, yada, yada. So clearly there is something going on that had been brewing for a while with Belichick and Malcolm Butler.
For a guy that plays over 98% of the plays and during a season, which means you're playing in a lot of different packages, defensive schemes, for them, they just obviously don't want to tell us because they have to think we're all knuckleheads if they think their reasoning anybody's going to buy. Oh, we just happen to go with the players that we think give us the best chance to win when this guy has been on the field basically more than anybody out there in all the different ways we played on defense. So that's a crock. So now as reports coming out, was it a curfew being missed? Somehow you get in the doghouse, and then even if it is something like that, Mike, oh my God, I mean, to go so far as to say, you're not playing. You're not playing in the biggest game of the season for a disciplinary reason, if that's where we find out it goes, is amazing to me.
And if you do that as suddenly as it seemed they did, because based on the response we saw from Malcolm Butler was emotional during God Bless America or the national anthem, seemed to respond emotionally after the game as well, as if he wasn't given a reason. Remember, he's saying they just gave up on me. That would indicate that he wasn't given a lot of notice on this decision. It wasn't, he wasn't inactive or anything like that. He was fully dressed for the game and just didn't play. So how soon was he told about this would also change the dynamic of this situation. Because think about if you're Matt Patricia in this. Well, all of a sudden, before that game, by the way, you're going to be without probably your best defensive back.
And okay, here's my theory on that.
All right.
My theory is Matt Patricia knew. That's my theory is that
I would agree with that.
If we're finding out it was a curfew issue and he wasn't going to play him, the reason that they didn't do that earlier, or at least, it wasn't going to announce that, but say it in the locker room or tell him, there's no doubt that would have gotten out. That would have gotten out during the week that Malcolm Jenkins, if he was told he wasn't playing, that Malcolm Butler wasn't going to be playing, that would have gotten out. And I think that's what they wanted to hide from. So I think Patricia knew. I think they just didn't tell Malcolm Butler.
But did they tell the rest of the defensive backs then?
I don't think so either. But to that point, I'll say this. You can practice with any guy you want. Second play of the game, that guy can get hurt. The next guy jumps in. I mean, you're used to that all the time anyway.
You are, but you're doing that without telling any of those guys. And there's not a good reason for the rest of those guys to know about that. Like, that would be like in the offensive line, just randomly plugging in a new right guard or a center for the rest of that day and be like, oh, hey, guys, deal with this. We're not going to tell you why right now he's not hurt, but just go ahead and do it.
That's not true. I mean, you know who the backup right guard is if he came in on your line. And, and what do? Is that going to change the way you play?
Yes, at the beginning of that game. Is that not going to change the way that we play at the beginning of that game?
Why is it going to change the way you play?
If I expect to go out there all of a sudden and say, all right, I've been practicing next to, whoever the starting center is, I've been practicing next to Jason Kelsey this entire time as a guard for the Eagles.
Do the calls change? Do the defensive formation
How are you
going to
act like this has no effect? How are you going to act like this has no effect? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to act like there's no effect to this. It's ridiculous.
On your five-man line, if someone got hurt and someone came in, you throw up your hands. Oh, we can't play now. We can't play now. Someone else came in.
Oh, my God. All right, this is hurt. We adjust. If all of a sudden I'm going through my week of practice and I'm practicing next to Jason Kelsey, and then you give me no good reason, he is healthy standing over there on the sideline and he's not playing, you don't think that raises an eyebrow?
Yes, it raises an eyebrow.
It unnecessarily creates a situation in this team that makes them a lesser football team.
It raises an eyebrow, but it shouldn't change your performance.
It's just going to change your performance. It's going to change your team's performance. It makes you worse. Don't get that twisted.
I didn't say that didn't happen.
But it makes you worse, and it changes everything communication-wise for everyone else around
with
you.
That.
You don't have your best guy out there who's out there not only because he's your best player, but because he works the best with that unit.
I agree.
How does that not change the situation?
It shouldn't change your performance.
I'm not saying it changes your performance. I'm saying it makes life difficult for everyone, though.
I don't know if it makes life difficult for everybody. Every single person out there.
It doesn't make life difficult for the other guys in that defensive backfield to all of a sudden have to communicate with someone who hasn't been the starter for 97, 98% of the snaps the rest of the season.
Listen,
it doesn't make that more difficult.
I didn't say it doesn't make it more difficult, but it shouldn't end the game. We shouldn't be losing our mind
game
here.
Over. Game over. When did I say that?
We shouldn't be losing our mind. It happens all the time with injury. Someone else has to come in.
I understand that, but that's with injury. That's not saying this happening out of nowhere, not telling anyone else on the team for something.
I disagree. The bottom line is injury. He's out of the game. You have to adjust. Now, if you find out he's not playing, it raises an eyebrow as to, oh my God, why is he out of the game? But guess what happens? You got to go play a stinking game, and you got to adjust. You're not as good a team. I completely agree with you. You're not as good a team.
I'm going to side with Junior here, and here's why. Because if it's an injury, hey, there's nothing we can do about that. We'll move on. It's a mental thing. If you're like, hey, we're out there struggling, and Nick Foles is lighting us up, why ain't that guy playing?
I agree with that.
That's a totally different dynamic.
I agree with that, but I'll ask again, should it change your performance?
And Brandon Browner, by the way, put it out on his Instagram, and he basically torched the Patriots for what they did. And among the people that liked his Instagram post, current Patriot Dante Hightower and two former Patriots, Alfonso Denard and Jamie Collins. And he's basically saying a locker room was divided pregame, most yards ever given up in a Super Bowl game, and your best defender over the past 3 seasons doesn't get a snap. You wear your hurt burnt where he was rendered tonight. # foolish pride.
I agree with you,
so
Mike.
There is a lot of things that are going on.
I agree with that part of it on your side, what you said, Mike, for sure, of what it's going to do in the locker room on the sideline. I absolutely agree with that.
I just want you to both to know I love you guys.
Oh, God.
I love both of you. I
Trey just got to sit back there and coast. He was the one goading us into that, too.
You did great. Thanks so much.
Really
Coming up, the best thing you're going to hear all day, and it isn't those two yammering.
So, 2 things come out of the fact when a father and son yell at one another,
Yeah.
like Mike and I did last segment.
You guys were at it pretty good.
Number one is I actually think we agree on the same thing, that it'll change how good the team is, but it shouldn't change your individual play.
Yeah.
Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of saying that same thing. Was I saying something?
I don't really remember anymore.
I don't either.
To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but I think we were kind of saying the same thing, even though we may disagree on some of the nuances of it. And the other, maybe the more important thing is when we were legitimately yelling at one another, the first tweet we got was, "What side does ND Mom go on?"
Yeah, there you go.
My wife, your mother, when we yell at one another. Does she just automatically side with you because you're the son and I'm the husband that she doesn't, the end of the day, she'll care more about the kids than the husband. So even if you're wrong, which in this case, in the most part you were, that she would side with you?
Well, no, I think it's just the opposite, that she enjoys being right. And so she usually understands that my perspective is pretty well thought out, pretty well reasoned, and that it comes from a place that is just much more true than yours.
I love you both.
Yeah.
That's right.
Again with this guy.
Right.
Foot in the parking
You're
lot.
going to Hawaii,
Golick
that's
and
fine.
Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance, and all phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Look, you guys both know this, and I've come to appreciate this from covering the NFL all these years. It is hard to play in the NFL and play for 16 games. It is harder to do it for multiple years, and it is hard as hell to do it and finally have a chance to look at that little shiny silver thing called the Lombardi Trophy and realize, oh my God, this actually happened. Now, it's a little harder everywhere except New England because they tend to be there all the time. But the point is, to get there and get to that mountaintop, it gives you a lot of pause. It gives you a reflection, like all the things that you had to do to get to this spot. And, it can be life-changing, but it can also be life-affirming. And I don't think there was anybody whose post-game comments sort of sum that up any better than Eagles center Jason Kelce. And this is what he said after he realized, my God, I've finally done it.
I found myself in the shower crying, dreaming of this moment. You've worked so hard your whole life to get here. Everything culminates. And I can't help but think back to a quote my grandfather gave me from Calvin Coolidge about persistence. I'm not going to say it because it's a little long and it'll drag home, but he gave me that quote when I was 18 years old, when I was not given a scholarship to play at any Division I university. My father and mother told me to stay after my dream. And I've officially accomplished the best thing in this sport with a group of guys who mean the world to me.
How awesome is that?
I mean, that's it, man. That's it. That's the whole deal.
That's it right there.
That's the whole deal.
The amazing thing is, when I heard him saying that, I could have envisioned you saying something like that if you guys had won the title, the national championship, saying something kind of right along those lines on what it would mean you got that close to it.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's it's whatever your level of accomplishment is along the way. Like, I think we all have different things that mean that much to us. I mean, God, I can remember the first game I played meaningful snaps, and I found you after the game. It was basically sobbing on the field because at that point I had been a career backup. It had taken so long to get to that point of staying ready and never knowing if your opportunity was going to come. And so when you finally get there and get to taste something that had been the mountaintop for you for so long, and that mountaintop changes and moves as you go along in your career and as you go through different things, that moment for me had that sort of catharsis to it, to where I was overcome by it. And then you quickly adjust and you find new mountaintops. But for this is truly the pinnacle of the sport. This is the highest that it gets. And so I think everyone in those moments, we saw it with Randy Moss when he got the Hall of Fame announcement, everyone in those moments, I think, realizes not what that accomplishment means to you, but like Jason just said, what everything else you had to put into it means to you, what it looked like when this looked like it was never going to happen or never be a possibility.
Kind of the journey, right?
Yeah.
You got to it, but then it's the journey. You start reflecting on the road it took to get there and all the bumps and curves and peaks and valleys along the way.
Well, that's the thing, and this is why I love football more than any other sport, and obviously I'm pretty sure you guys feel the same way. It's a thing that is shared more, I think, than any other big-time sport, because it has to be something that you do together. We always talk about quarterbacks' wins and losses as not being a stat. Here's why. Tom Brady threw for 500 freaking yards. He threw for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, and the team lost. You know, it's a team thing. It's something that's shared with somebody, and that's what makes it so great. And for those that don't have it, here's the entire Calvin Coolidge quote, who was the 30th president of the United States. Quote, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, 'Press on,' has solved and will always solve the problems of the human race." That's freaking money, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's money. And that's what it's about. I mean, that's the whole deal. You don't need a special skill to work hard. You don't need a special skill to try your best. All that takes is you finding out what you have in you and putting it out there on the line. And you're going to fail 100 times. But that 101st time, you're going to knock down that door. And that's where Kelsey is right now. That's where the Eagles are right now. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about trying. It's not about succeeding. It's about trying. And then when you get to that successful spot, you realize, holy hell, all we had to do was try harder, and it works. Yeah, that's the beauty of it all.
Everybody's road is different. You know, that there are the stars right out of the gate, the first-round picks. There are the guys then like Jason Kelsey who doesn't get offers to go anywhere. There are guys like you who have to wait a few years to start, and you just keep going and going. I mean, to go into practice and to lifting every day waiting for that moment. And it took me a couple of years the same way to start at Notre Dame. You just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And so for everybody, they have a different story, whether it's injuries, the guys playing in front of them, to where you just persevere. And then, man, that's why I always get so jealous of those guys, jealous of you and Jake when you guys are playing in the championship game, because I never even got to do that, of saying you guys have a chance to finish it off, to hit the mountaintop and to realize everything that you put into it comes to fruition on one night.
Well, and I think the best part about this is that the effort and persistence doesn't guarantee you a result, but it guarantees the way that people will perceive you. The worst thing that you can say about someone is, oh, well, you're a genius, oh, you're this unbelievable talent, because that requires no skill on your part.
Or hard work at times.
That requires really nothing other than you showing up and being what you were naturally given. The key and the way that you would like to hopefully be remembered is someone that took those things and harnessed them, that made the best out of them, and that showed daily. And that's what that persistence is, and that's why those guys all seem to go back to the moments where they thought this would never be possible. Forget the bumps along the way. I mean, Jason Kelsey went right back to the most painful moment of that possible, where he wasn't offered, where people were told him, we don't want you.
At 18, your dream was over, he was told.
Exactly. You have done. That crushed there. And so that's the moment that you tend to go back to, because from then on out, this result wasn't promised, but his legacy was already cemented. The person that we'll remember Jason Kelsey for, that his teammates will remember him for, was already well entrenched in all of their minds.
Yeah. Effort. It's about be willing to put yourself out there for something you believe in, and to see it pay off like that is just remarkable. And you're right, Junior. At 18, he was told it was never going to happen for him.
Done.
And he's like, you know what? I don't believe that. I'm going to keep going. Persistence. I'm going to freaking have this. If I ever get a tattoo, it's going to be this quote. I'm going to put it somewhere. We'll figure out where I should put it.
I got a guy for you.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
I know where we can put it, too.
There you go. Thanks very much. Hey, I love you guys. By the way, coming up, I was told something this morning that I'm very uncomfortable with, the fact that I'm sharing a very small space with you guys, and we'll get into that. We roll on here in Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. So, Junior, you're out in a few minutes, and I won't see you for a while. But
why is that, Trey?
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking a little vacation.
Yes, you are.
Starting tomorrow, and you guys are going in March, taking a little vacation.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We are.
And you're giving me grief. Your vacation's going to be pretty sweet.
It is going to be nice. Our family, all 6 of us now, with Jenny, Jake, and Jenny, Jake's wife, and the Perianos, who you know very well.
No, the Perianos.
We travel
very
around
well.
with the Perianos a lot. There's 5 of them. Their kids are basically the age of our kids. We've grown up together and done a lot together. We're all going to South Africa together.
So now it's awesome. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
I that's on my bucket list. I haven't done it yet. But to do that, you guys have to take massive precautions and preparation.
Yeah, yesterday we went to the Passport Health Center or whatever the hell it was called. Me, you, and your mother.
There's a Passport Health Center?
I don't know what it was
It looks
called.
like a bootleg doctor's office.
Does.
Like
it does.
It's very suspect.
It does. And so let everybody know what we did in there, Mike.
Yeah, so essentially, I mean, we're going to South Africa and Tanzania.
Going to Cape Town, Tanzania, yeah.
And so in all those places, there are recommendations for the immunizations you need to get for those different spots, vaccinations, all these different things. And so we go in there and essentially end up getting vaccinated for hepatitis A, typhoid, yellow fever, and I got a tetanus shot as well.
Yes, you did, yeah.
All of those things now swirling around in there, but we found out, normally vaccinations are a dead version of whatever disease. You're injecting yourself quite literally with the disease, a low dosage to try and build up the antibodies against it, but we got live yellow fever.
Yes, we do.
Wait, let's say that again.
Yeah.
Of all the things, you actually have live yellow fever right now swimming.
Yes, we do.
Why?
Well, apparently the normal yellow fever vaccination in the U.S. is in such limited supply right now. Whatever reason, there's a shortage.
Yep.
They can't give it out. So we're on a trial. Apparently they've been using this, and this is all the stuff that the doctor, I think he was doctor, told us yesterday, saying that it was been used in Europe forever, but it's a trial, so you got to sign this waiver, and he's not held accountable. I don't know where he got the needle from, but yeah, live yellow fever.
Yeah.
So I'm stunned by this.
Yeah.
So not only do you have like the actual disease, yellow fever,
chilling
in your bodies,
just
right
hanging
now,
out,
and the doctor just said, "Hey, they've done this in Europe. Let's just try this here."
We had to sign.
Are you kidding me?
We had to sign something that said we're now part of the trial. So yeah.
Why would you sign that?
Because we want to go on the trip.
Yeah, he told us that was the only way to go. He seemed like a pretty reasonable guy.
You know what? He seemed like he was okay.
Is there not? Can I wait a couple of weeks and see if like the dead stuff comes back?
I'm not sure why he packed up right away and left after he got our money, but
he acted like it wasn't his office too. It was all very strange.
Did he make sure you guys paid in cash? So you mean like because I gotta go
strictly Bitcoin?
I don't think the way we pay
was tough for him.
Any of your business.
I don't even need to
know
how
this whole thing went about.
You have live yellow fever swimming through your veins right now.
Well, and
I'm in a confined space with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's produced a strange effect too. They told us there'd be a general malaise, but
yeah.
I didn't anticipate that would make me fall asleep at like 7:30 last night.
Yeah, he said that's the word he used. He said you will feel a malaise from these shots
because you've got yellow fever in you.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Yellow fever, what was it? Typhoid?
Forget the other ones. Those are dead.
Yeah.
Those are dead. You have actual yellow fever in you. And I'm here next to you guys.
And you're about to go on vacation, man. This is dicey timing.
Man.
Your immune system's going to be down a little bit.
You know what I'm looking forward to at the end of this hour for Mike, and then when our show ends, that hug that we all share before you go.
Trey said he wanted that before he went. You love us.
He did. You love us. You'll hug us.
It's going to be an air hug today.
No, it's not.
Brett, look up yellow fever.
Yeah.
what am I going to get from being here in the studio?
You're going to get yellow fever.
You're going to get yellow fever.
Pretty
clear.
What
are the symptoms? I mean, what am I going to be dealing with now that these two bozos went to a doctor on the run, Dr. Slappy and his legal injections at 30% off?
But he filled out some kind of sheet, some kind of certificate that said we can now go on the trip.
And he sold us
good for you.
Sold us a bunch of sunblock and bug spray.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's really expensive.
The dude took us for a lot.
I mean, how can you? Can't you? I mean, was there was a time frame that you had to get the stuff now?
Oh yeah, I mean, before we go on the trip, yeah.
Yeah, we also had to get it done early enough because he has the tattoo parlor in the back that he also runs.
Yeah,
I hope that needle was sterile.
People were lining up there. We think it was the same one.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you guys walked in here with yellow fever. Yellow fever.
Yeah. I'm
not feeling well.
I never looked up the symptoms either. I have no idea what to expect out of all this.
Oh, that's great. And that was Straight Talk.
But we're going to South Africa.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. Brett and I are going to research what I can expect.
Voice is sounding a little raspy.
I feel terrible.
Feel okay?
I got a little malaise. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
But you know who else doesn't feel good?
Who's that?
Gronk.
No.
It hasn't been a good couple of days for him. We'll talk about that when we come back. I'm going to do the rest of the show in a bubble. Stay with us.